Hello, movie people! Welcome to a new episode of the CineGuy. I'm your host, Steven Angulo. Let's talk film! Our favorite cat and mouse duo has returned to the big screen. Only this time, they're in live action. And also animated. And barely there. Tom and Jerry sees our cartoon duo as they end up in New York City, where Tom is tasked with getting rid of Jerry from a big fancy hotel in the eve of a very, very huge wedding. Now, it already sounds like a typical family comedy starring two animated cartoon characters. And in a way, that's all it is. Yeah, it's got everything that's typical of a film adaptation to a cartoon, like over-the-top violence, slapstick humor, and surprisingly a lot of references that only a Gen Z person thinks is cool. I mean, this is basically a Tom and Jerry movie made for TikTokers and not for people who are actually fans of the cartoon. I mean, Tom did the floss, for crying out loud. I mean, it's got singing pigeons, rappers voicing alley cats, and a lot of stereotypes just for the sake of comedy. I mean, who directed this? That doesn't really explain much. Oh yeah, that makes sense. But also the focus wasn't even on the characters. No, it wasn't their story. It was Chloe Grace Moretz. She plays Kayla, a young millennial trying to find work in the big city. Well, at least that's relatable. And she's able to score a job at a big hotel by stealing someone else's credentials. Yeah. Whatever it takes, right? Yep, she's BSing her way to the top. How? By being a good person. She's nice to the building manager, to the bride and groom, and she even trusts Tom to, get rid of Jerry, who's the mouse problem in the hotel. But why did it feel like they were juggling between who to make this movie about when they never dove deep into any character? Where did Kayla come from? What is her backstory? Why is suddenly calling John's story when he's trying to give his fiancée an Indian wedding she never asked for? How come Tom and Jerry are the only animals that don't talk in this movie? Why didn't Tom's dream of performing with John Legend at Madison Square Garden come true? Why is Jerry's full name Jerome? No, we're not going through that. Now, I'm all for adaptations of cartoons from my childhood, but this one just doesn't have the heart and soul of the originals. The cartoon violence is there, and it is amazing how much they incorporated into the 21st century for these two, but it's simply not enough to make a full-fledged story of a movie that doesn't feel like it belongs on Cartoon Network rather than on the big screen. If the movie's called Tom and Jerry, I want to see more Tom and more Jerry. Now, each actor did well in their part, but it's just so hard to tell if anyone's having any fun doing this. So, if I were to choose between rewatching this or having a piano dropped in my head, you might as well drop an anvil as well. So my final rating is going to be 6.4 animal tornadoes out of 10 name tags. At least the tornadoes are there. Yay. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this review. Leave a like if you did, subscribe and join the crew. And I'll see you next time for another awesome review. Also, be sure to follow the Instagram page at CineGuy Steven for more fun reviews. That is at CineGuy Steven. I'll see you there. This is Steven Angulo signing off. That's all, folks.